Okay, so welcome everybody to our regular Thinking Thursday. And today our speaker is Dr. Preeti Kohli. There she is, her beautiful smile in her sky blue dress. So Dr. Preeti Kohli has been a consulting homeopathic physician for over 20 years, though she doesn't look that old. She still looks as she looked when she met me how many years ago, I don't know, and a transformational coach for over 11 years. She serves now as one of the founding members and director at the AHA movement. Through her work, she has touched thousands of lives and has successfully conducted over 200 workshops in alternate healing therapies. She was introduced to meditation and mindfulness at the young age of 15. Her keen interest to understand the body mind soul connect and help people grow holistically led her towards learning and practicing other root cause therapies like past life regression, inner child healing, rebirthing, breath work, family constellation. One of her passions is to work with parents and kids. She also volunteers to teach meditation for children at schools through the Soul Science Foundation. So, Preeti, my dear, welcome. And it's always wonderful to see you. I also want to say that her beautiful, her fantastic husband Ganesh, who is double her size, is is amazing. Okay, and we've had him many times as the master of ceremonies, and he's so jovial and filled with humor. And both of them take workshops. I think one of the workshop has just ended, Shayad, this
In a
month or
child
last
healing.
month.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'd love Preeti to talk a little bit on the kind of bonding that the two of you have succeeded in accomplishing also, because we have lots of couples here who attend. That will be also wonderful, Preeti. As you work on the inner child, how two people uh, have a symbiotically mutually supportive relationship also when their both inner children flower. That would all be something I'd love you to talk about. Okay,
That's
Preeti?
so beautiful. Thank you so much, Truptiben. Firstly, I'm honored to be here. And in fact, Truptiben, before I start talking about that, I'll share my journey a little bit about our meeting.
Okay.
So, 2003 is when I got married. As you mentioned about Ganesh, yes, but he's not double my size. I'm five. I'm 5 feet and he's 6 feet. So that's the
Okay.
difference. So as I got married after coming here, so I was staying in Anushakti Nagar, Chembur, and after shifting this side, when I started my practice, I started assisting Dr. Divya. And when I started working with her, she did a workshop in past life regression within 2 months of me working with her, and that was with Dr. Newton. And that's when I got interested in past life regression. I heard it from her, and that is how I reached you, Truptiben. This was, I think, in 2005 is when I actually came for my session with you.
Correct. Divya and I did the workshop together.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. So 2005 is when I came to you, and I think a lot of interest in meditation, in spirituality, wanting to know a little more about myself. I landed up to you, and I remember you asking me, why are you here? And I said, just to understand a little more. And the very first session that you did with me, Trupti Ben, was, you may not remember, but was seeing your guides.
Okay.
So in that, I saw my father who had introduced me to spirituality. I saw Osho, where I actually learned meditation. I saw Dr. Divya. I saw another couple that whom I was meditating with, and some of the other guides. But towards the end, you probably wouldn't remember, but that image really stuck with me. There was this figure which was kind of glowing, and I said, I don't know who this being is. This was still not known to me. And after I did, during that year, 3 sessions with you, you said, Preeti, whenever you think of, it'll be nice, you can also be a therapist. And if you ever want to, go to Dr. Newton. So it was your guidance, and that stayed with me. I was not ready that time, but 2009 is when I took the jump. And of course, I went for past life regression. And that 6-day workshop, with Dr. Newton, on the last day, that visual of the session, the first session with you, just came to me. And it was as if Dr. Newton, who was standing in front of me, he fitted there in
Ah,
that glowing figure. So actually, that was him. So, 4 years before he actually entered my life, it had
wow.
come in that session with you. So thank you so much, firstly,
Oh, thank
for
you. Thank you for coming because somebody guided you. The
yes,
master guides must have guided you to come through Divya, of course,
absolutely,
and then all the revelations that happened in your life and how
absolutely.
you've taken it forward. I think that's what's most important, Preeti. Many people do workshops, but you've taken it forward in a huge way. And the two of you have, kind of combined together and done some beautiful workshops. So please go ahead and enlighten all of us
So,
with your
so
journey.
yes, yes. So the first workshop, of course, was past life regression, and after I did that, I heard about inner child there,
Hmm.
and I thought that
Hmm.
I don't need really inner child. I was a very good child. I was, praised by everybody at home, praised by all the teachers. I was the good child, and I really didn't have any wounding. So I classically thought, I don't need inner child. My sister, who did the past life regression after
Yes.
me, she
Hmm.
went for inner child before me, and I said, understandable. She had a lot of wounding. She was a second child, and she had a lot of wounding. So, but it started somewhere coming to me. The signs started coming to me in my dreams,
Hmm.
and that's when actually in 2013 me and Ganesh both, so it was happening again, the universe conspired that both of us went there together.
Hmm.
The workshop, the previous year I missed, and 2013 it was happening on his birthday. So I said, you got to come with me, otherwise I'm going to miss it again. And we reached there together again for that workshop. I thought I'll go there. I'm getting science maybe because I used to work so much with kids. As a homeopath,
Hmm.
70% of your practice is with kids. I thought maybe that's the reason why I need to be there. But the first day of actually reaching there, I realized why I was there.
Wow.
Because, when Dr. Newton, in one of the very beginning thing, he shared about the needs of the child,
Hmm.
that what are the needs of the child, and that list, when that really came in front of me, I realized that my parents really did their best. They were amazing, and I was an amazing child. Okay, I'll now share where that amazing child was coming from. But actually, my parents were not aware about these needs,
Correct.
and their needs were not met. I understood in that workshop, in that work, that when those emotional needs, when the parents' needs are not met with, they really can't be meeting that need for their child. And so, day after day, the layers really kept unpeeling, and the healing kept happening. So in fact, through sharing my story, Trupti Ben, as you mentioned about also the couple, what I'll do is I'll share some slides as well, so that we all can actually start diving into this journey a little bit. So, friends, as I was sharing that I was interested in meditation, we all know that the being state, the core state, which is not wounded. As a child, that all that vulnerability is really there within, in this central layer that we see. And as an adult, we all look absolutely fine, absolutely perfect. So this outer protective layer, which is the conscious mind, which is really formed, which is, in a sense, that's how we are operating in this world. But inside, all of us are carrying this wounded inner child. And these are the needs that I was sharing about. When Dr. Newton shared some of these needs, the need to feel wanted, the need to feel accepted and appreciated for who he or she is, not what he or she does. need to have feelings, thoughts, intuition expressed and validated. Now, this is where actually I realized, because a lot of our feelings, working with kids, I had realized that so many times the parents, and that included my parents, we were really not allowed to have feelings which were not necessary. If I was feeling sad, I did not feel the freedom that it was okay, that my mom or dad would be okay if I was sad or angry, and if I would also express it. So these are some of the needs that are really not met with. The other needs, of course, need to feel secure and safe, need for physical touch with loving presence, need to be encouraged and supported to separate, need to be inspired and motivated to learn, need to know that it is okay to make mistakes and to learn from them, need to witness love and intimacy. This was another thing that we really missed. We had not really seen that. Coming from that generation, हमें पता है कि the parents would not really show, would not be really intimate in front, even holding each other. That was not something that we had witnessed. Need for respect of boundaries, to be given firm limits, and also encouraged in discovering their unique sexuality, creative gifts, resourcefulness, power, and solitude. So, friends, when I saw this right on the first day, I kind of realized that obviously these needs were not met with. And when our needs are not met with, it's not necessarily that there has to be a lot of wounding. कि कुछ बुरा किसी ने बोला हो, कि बुरा किसी ने किया हो, जिसको हम कहते हैं कि the wound of commission, किसी ने कुछ ऐसा किया जिसके वजह से हमारे ऊपर उसका असर आया, but also wounds of omission, that something was neglected, they were not aware of it, or their needs were not met with, hence they are not really also able to meet that. और मुझे फिर तब रियलाइज भी हुआ कि इतना रेजिस्टेंस जो था कहीं पे, आई देन रियलाइज दैट इट वाज ऑल रेजिस्टेंस, एंड आई वाज थिंकिंग कि मुझे जरूरत नहीं है इनर चाइल्ड की. That all also comes for most other people I've seen, because somewhere for us our parents are like gods, right? Somewhere, when whatever they have done for us, when we feel needy, if we feel that there is something that they have not done, we might feel guilty. Somebody is unmuted and there are some sounds which is a little disturbing.
Preeti, you just unmute and speak.
हाँ जी. So I realized कि वो जो इतना resistance था, which I now see also working with so many people, that resistance is because unconsciously we feel that if I have to somewhere start paying attention and start seeing that there is something that was not met with, in a sense, I will be making my parents wrong. So that high level of resistance to work on the inner child also comes from there. Also in the inner child workshop, so first what started happening was I realized that a lot of the wounding that had happened obviously was before the age of what I knew. I was born to my parents after my first brother was a stillborn, and then the second child again was a boy who died after 25 days. So it's only in the workshop suddenly I realized, there was a process where I tuned into the first child. I felt like I was the same soul as the first boy. And that's when I shared with Dr. Newton. He said, you may not necessarily be the same soul, but you are taking his place. In the womb, we are absorbing everything. And because somewhere the parents are hoping for this child and they're waiting that this is the child who will take the position, you're taking the place of the first child. And that is the reason why this was happening. So all of these things, we have absorbed all the energy before our conscious thinking mind has developed, which usually develops after the age of 6 years. तो 6 years के पहले जितनी चीजें हो रही है, there is already a script that is forming. As the psychologists say, a lot of people here are already therapists, and you would know that these scripts are formed before the age of 6 years, and a lot of the times it's the same script that is repeating. So this is the process that started happening to me there. And that's when I also realized how I was actually feeling like I don't have any wounds. As kids, friends, we have all our needs. We are completely dependent on our parents. We are completely dependent on other people to meet our needs. So every child actually develops a coping strategy, right? As adults, our needs, which may be there, we can meet by ourselves. But as kids, we need some strategies to really meet them. So, friends, as I'll go through these strategies, this I thought could be an exercise that we could all do together as well, identifying our strategy. So, the first strategy which I identified was my strategy was being the obedient child. Now, the child, the parents are like the gods. The child is sensing what the parents want. So, this child who becomes the obedient child, the child needs the love and attention. Attention is equal to love, right? Now, when this child needs the love from the parents, if my parents want me to do this, what I do is I start doing exactly what they want me to do. And that is how I start getting their love, right? Now, what happened, friends, when I say that there was wounding, child wounding, what happens with the obedient child is what we call as the spiritual wounding. Spiritual wounding is something that, we have come here to be a particular, for a certain purpose. We are meant to be our own beings, but we start changing. We actually disconnect from our original self. So I was this obedient child who started actually doing everything that my parents wanted. My father would say they would never have to say a second time what they wanted me to do. So I would just sense it, and to make them happy, I would be doing that. Friends, how many of us recognize that we are an obedient child? That is what our strategy was. Maybe you can put it in the chat because I can't see the hands here in case you're raising your hands. Okay, Anu Oberoi is raising her hand. Okay, Bhuma, Sumanji, Sneh, all of them are the obedient child. Now, the second strategy is the hammer or the rebel. Now, this is who my sister was, right? So, what she would say after she did the inner child, she said, there was already one obedient child in the house. So, she became the rebel. They have to do something different, right, to get the attention. So, what they do is they start doing exactly the opposite of what the parents want them to do, right? And in doing that, now if my mother wanted her to go left, she would go right. Now, in doing that, obviously, she was getting the attention of my mother. And for the child, of course, attention was equal to love. So that is the way that she was constantly getting their love, right? So somewhere, of course, even the rebels, they also have a spiritual wounding. They also disconnect from their original selves. A lot of the times when I have been working with adults, say they feel that, I was myself. I never listened to them. I was doing what I wanted to do. And so many times after a couple of sessions, they realize that they were not doing what they wanted to do. They were doing what the mother did not want them to do. They were doing exactly. And probably as adults, they still keep doing that. They are still anti authority. Whatever their boss wants, they want exactly the opposite. Whatever the government is saying, they think that is wrong and they want exactly the opposite. So they're still having that anti attitude, right? Carrying inside till we actually recognize and free ourselves from that pattern. Friends, any of you identify that you were a rebel? And sometimes, friends, we could have used more than one strategy. So when one stops working, we could be using another. Or sometimes obedient can also become the rebel in the teenage. So anybody who recognizes that they were rebels? Okay, Nidhi ji says she feels obedient and rebel. The third strategy is the hook. Right, the hook is the one, teda, right? They manipulate. So I had this person who would tell the mother that, Mama, if you don't give me what I want, let Papa come, I'm going to tell what you were doing today, right? So now when they were doing this, they would get what they wanted. The mother would just get scared. She would give them what they wanted. The fourth strategy is the knife. The knife is the threatening one. Okay, so they threaten the person of what they want. I had this parent coming to me with this small 4-year-old child. The child used to look so naive, so innocent, so cute. And the mother says, don't go on her innocent looks. There were 10 adults staying with this one child in the house. She says, when she wants something, she loves Coke and she wants it every day. And when you're not giving it to her, what she once did is that she held the curtains, huge curtains, old kind of a house, and she just pulled the thing down. The whole rod came down, and they had to call the carpenters to again put it up. So she does these kind of things. She will just go and do something destructive. So my mother-in-law, she says, is always scared. Whenever she wants something, she says, just give it to her. Otherwise, then I don't know what she'll break today. So how many of us friends we recognize we are the knife or the hook? Anybody? I can't see the raised hands here. So I'll just keep sharing, friends. You can put it in the chat if you like. The fifth strategy, the begging bowl. Begging bowl is like the bechara bacha, jo jaise one of my sister's kids, she recognizes, is the begging bowl. When he wants to watch TV, when he wants to watch the cartoon, and he's kind of finished 5 she allowed, and he's finished that. And then, so sweetly he'll say, Mama, just one more, Mama, just one more. And she recognizes, because in the house, if there's anybody else, right, they would feel ki kitna bechara bacha. They'll feel that the mother is really troubling this child now by not giving the child what he wants.
उठते से नाक मत पहले ब्रश कर प्रोसेस कर
The
Preeti, again you have to unmute and speak, please.
Okay. The sixth strategy is the upside down begging bowl, and which is the one where the child just sits, says, Mama, you don't love me, right? Sits in the room. You don't love me. You don't care for me. You only care for Bhaiya. Now, this is, friends, not the child who wants now time alone, who wants time for solitude, but the child very well knows that the parents' attention is on me. So, this is their strategy to get that attention. So, friends, I realized that so many times, when we identify our strategy, how this helps is because unconsciously we carry these strategies into our adult relationships. When a person uses the hook, the manipulation, or uses the knife, the strategies if we are using now in our relationships, in a couple relationship, right, that is going to hurt the relationship. That is going to come in the way we are not being authentic there. And eventually the person kind of realizes that you're using this, and that starts pushing away the person. So that's what happened. So things, when we realized that we were actually kind of, I was like an obedient person, I was being a pleaser, right? I was always, whatever my parents wanted, I was always doing that. Now the same thing was happening, of course, in the couple relationship. I was sensing his needs, I was sensing whatever he wanted me to do, and I used to do that. And eventually what would happen is, now of course he's not my parent, I'm not his child, right? He was of course coming from his inner child wounding, he was operating from that. And as we were actually doing that, There were points when we realized that I was not even communicating my own need. I was not even identifying my own need. And that was actually coming in the way. So sometimes when the fights would happen, that's when we would realize that we have been operating from that. So this is exactly how it actually comes in the way of the adult relationships. There are certain sounds that are coming again. Trupti Ben, somebody is again unmuted.
Guys, kindly please mute yourselves, no?
Okay, thank you. Yes, friends. So coming back to the couple relationship. So what we realized is also that the one is the strategies that we keep using. The psychologists, friends, have also said that 90% of the relationship issues are actually coming from the inner child wounding, coming from the issues with our relationship with the parents. So our unmet needs, the need, what are the fights really between the couples? A lot of the times the fight of every person is really, why are you not seeing me? Why are you not loving me? Why are you not accepting me? All those needs which have not been met for us when we were when we were little children. Our inner child unmet needs is what starts projecting over there. I will again just share my screen. So what we really started doing, how the relationship and the relationship, friends, has shifted as a result. A lot of this awareness came as a result. So when we started working on our inner child, we realized that how those simple things that the psychologists have said, that a woman typically tends to marry the father, or the man tends to marry the mother. Why they say that? That is something that we started realizing. So what really is inner child healing? We are being a parent to the child within all those needs that have not been met. We are connecting with each and every stage. A lot of the situations that would have happened where our needs were not met with, we are meeting those needs. Also, there is trapped energy there when some kind of wounding happens. It's like, we've gone into a shock. We stop breathing when there is any kind of pain. And that energy that would have been trapped there, when we are reliving those wounds, that is what we release. One of the things that has happened, my dear friends, just 1 second. So friends, I was talking about the emotions. What has happened as children is that the parents focused a lot on the behavior, where our good behavior, like I said, I thought that there was no wounding because my good behavior was really appreciated. Underlying the behavior, when we look deeper, there are feelings, and underlying that there are those needs that we spoke about. 1 second. AC ऊपर. So when our feelings, when we are not feeling very well, and if that is something that is not appreciated, if the mother does not feel comfortable that the child is feeling sad or the child is feeling angry, then the child will feel uncomfortable expressing that, because the parent, the authority figure, is like a god, right? When we look at the parent not feeling okay, not feeling comfortable, या कई बार जैसे बोल देते हैं कि तुम ऐसे मुंह लटका के क्यों बैठे हो, तुम्हारे पास इतना कुछ है, इसमें उदास होने वाली क्या बात है. हम जब ये बोल देते हैं फ्रेंड्स, हम क्यों बोलते हैं? क्योंकि वो मदर के अंदर की भी जो अनडेल्ट विद फीलिंग्स है वो ट्रिगर होने लगती है जब बच्चा ऐसे फील करता है. तो पेरेंट क्या चाहता है कि बच्चा हमेशा खुश रहे, और जब वो हमेशा खुश रहे, जब दे आर नॉट हैप्पी, दे आर नॉट ओके, टू लेट देम feel whatever that they are feeling, somewhere that energy gets blocked. Our feelings, as we say, the underlying thing is needs. तो जब हमारी needs meet होती हैं, तब we automatically are going to feel good. When we are going to feel good, our behavior automatically will be good. पर बहुत बार क्या होता है, क्योंकि एक good behavior की expectation होती है, even if we are not feeling good, these feelings, which is the energy, हमारे emotions या feelings, जिसको हम कहते हैं कि energy in motion है, तो वो suppress हो जाती है. जब repress हो जाती है, उसके कारण हमारे अंदर बहुत सारे blockages होते हैं, और उसके कारण बहुत बार हमारे diseases भी होते हैं. ये मैं अभी नहीं लेती हूँ फ्रेंड्स, क्योंकि ये बहुत लंबा है. बट ये जो इमोशंस या फीलिंग्स हैं, जो बहुत बेसिक एनर्जी, जो बच्चा जब थिंक नहीं कर सकता 6 साल के पहले, we are only feeling, we are only sensing things, and these emotions, they form the basic blueprint for thinking, acting and decision making. मुझे एक बात याद आ रही है हैंस स्टैंडम की, जो एक बहुत जाने माने थेरेपिस्ट है. He says that God can take care of himself, but the child needs to be rescued. So when he is doing a session as a therapist, जब वो session कर रहे हैं, जो हमारे जो soul से connected चीजें हैं, जो wisdom है, वो कहीं ना कहीं we are also God beings, so that wisdom is there. So if there is any other issue, he says, I will leave that. That is for later. But when there is an inner child issue, I need to first look into that, because that child needs to be rescued. जो adult है उसको तो आप छोड़ सकते हो, but inner child का जो है, he needs to be rescued first. So many times, friends, in my practice, what I saw was, and this is also in my case, जैसे मैंने बताया कि पहले मैंने past life किया, पर जब तक हम childhood में जाके वो जो situations, जो energy वहाँ पे trapped है, जब तक हम उसको नहीं release करते हैं, till that time we cannot really live our true potential here on the earth plane. And hence also Jesus said that truly I say to you, unless you are converted and become like children, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. So friends, जो तृप्ति बहन ने बोला कि मेरे और मेरे हस्बैंड की जर्नी जो हम शेयर कर रहे थे, मैं सिर्फ एक चीज आपको बताना चाहूंगी कि हमारी जब फर्स्ट वर्कशॉप थी, उसके बाद जब हम निकलने लगे, my husband's mother was no longer there in the body. And Dr. Newton, the processing that we went through, Dr. Newton shared with him that, till now you have been with your mother. You have really not been with Preeti. So somewhere this entanglement, we all actually are entangled with our parents. The healthy separation does not happen with our parents in most cases. It's only when we actually heal our inner child, when we give ourselves the permission to separate, that is when we can actually separate. And that is something that has really caused a lot of difference in our relationship as a couple. As a couple, we have really grown together after the inner child healing, and then the next step, the family constellation. So I would like to end the topic here. I would love to do a meditation if we have the time. And in case before that, if there are any questions, we can also take that.
Sure, I think we can take the questions if you want now and then do the meditation. Preeti, would you like that?
हाँ जी, वैसा कर सकते हैं.
ठीक. So, anybody has any questions, either you can speak up or you can put on the chat as you want.
Ma'am, I want to ask.
हाँ, शर्मा बोलो.
Ma'am, when we started the session, the first was obedient child and the second was the rebel.
Yes.
And I identified myself as an obedient child and I was disconnected from the rebel.
Disconnected मतलब?
Like I am a rebel.
Okay.
but I behaved as an obedient child.
Okay.
So, so now how do I go about it?
So we recognize that as adults, we don't need to use the strategies, right?
Okay.
We are no longer really dependent on anybody in that sense. When we are using the strategies, we are actually not being our authentic self. तो जैसे जो रिबेल है वो भी हमेशा उल्टा करना चाह रहा है, या जो ओबीडियंट है, they are always trying to please the other people, right? They are also not being themselves. So the solution is really just to identify the strategy and also drop it. With awareness, we need to just drop these strategies. We need to allow ourselves to be the authentic selves. हमारी जो एक ये कंडीशनिंग हो गई है,
Exactly.
राइट, अभी हमें रियलाइज भी नहीं होता होगा कि हम कहाँ वो भी स्ट्रेटजीज यूज करने लगते हैं.
Yes, ma'am. That's what I want to ask. Like, you keep quiet, you're very obedient, you don't want to speak up, but actually, you know the truth, you want to speak up. So, like, how do we reconcile with this? You know?
Right. So, for example, when you recognize you are an obedient, right? Now, I recognize that that's been my natural tendency. तो अगर मैं अवेयरनेस नहीं लाती हूँ और ऑटोमेटिकली जब मैं वैसे थी तो मैं ऑटोमेटिकली सामने वाले को हाँ बोल दूंगी.
Yes.
And later I may realize that, oh, but I didn't want to do this, but that person did not give me a choice, right? So
Right.
then those things come as an afterthought, right? Now, when you recognize this is your strategy, so what I did for myself is that when somebody asks me something, I take 5 minutes. I immediately don't say yes. I really look, is this what also I want? Right? And then supposing yes, very likely if I still want to say yes, I'll say yes. Right?
Okay.
So I need to somewhere recognize that this is my strategy, right? And then give myself the permission to break out from that.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Shelina.
much.
Thank you for the question.
Ma'am, which was the strategy that you used as a child, and how were you able to overcome that one?
Rahul, as I mentioned, I was an absolutely obedient child to the core, even as a teenager. So somewhere it's much later that I realized that that's the strategy, and I just shared कि जो somewhere when I realized. So till recently also when I kind of I would need to remind myself because that was my automated response. We are so conditioned that अगर मैं ध्यान नहीं दूँ, so very likely I'll still kind of do that. So by now doing it differently, we recondition ourselves.
Okay, ma'am. So differently would mean, I mean, to be yourself, basically. Differently would again then go to the rebel.
No, I don't have to be rebellious. So I don't have to do opposite of what the other wants.
Okay.
Right? So it may be now my husband wants to go to a South Indian, even I want to go to a South Indian. I don't have to say no, just because you want to go South Indian, I want to go to a Chinese restaurant. Right?
Okay.
It may still be the same, right? And we are very happy to do that together. Right? So it doesn't have to be that I have to now go to the rebel. Rebel is not really also, coming out of using the strategies. But just with awareness, we just give ourselves the freedom to be ourselves.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rahul.
Ma'am, I want to add something. Like when we are obedient, we are so naive. We believe everything, and when the other person is manipulating, taking you for a ride, we don't understand these things. And then when we come out of this shell or the mask, and then we start seeing our parents as what they are actually, then it makes a lot of difference, and that is when then you start creating the boundaries and you start understanding everything now. So
Yes.
that's what I in my process I have realized that I was extremely naive. I used to believe everyone at face value.
Yes.
And then later on you understand all the dynamics now.
Yes, Shelina. Yes, that's a part of the journey. Yes. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
I think there is a question in the chat, Preeti.
Okay.
How do we know? How do we know energy is
Energy
trapped
trapped
during one's
during
childhood?
So Parmita ji, as just you start paying attention to yourself, right? We all have trapped energy, right? We all have certain situations. It's as simple as this. मैं आज अगर injection लेने के लिए जाती हूँ, right? We don't even realize, the doctor tells us just relax, right? Take deep long breaths. So we don't realize we've tightened our muscles, our breath is held up, right? So the energy stops moving when one is scared. So many such situations have happened right from childhood. We've fallen down, we've been hurt, somebody has shouted, somebody, we saw somebody being bitten by a dog in front of us, so we got scared as well. ऐसी इतनी सारी जो situations हुई हैं which have been emotionally very charged, which have been shocking, hurtful. So the energy somewhere is kind of blocked there. So when you just start working on this, when you start connecting with your inner child, as you are ready, slowly, these situations will start coming into your awareness. And it gets released by reliving. When we actually don't think about it. जैसे अभी पहला तो क्या होगा कि आपको कोई situation ध्यान में आएगी, पर जब आप उसको actually feel करते हो as a from the perspective of the child, not now looking as the adult. Not the adult version of you, the adult Preeti now looking at that, but feeling that, right? Stepping into the body, जो हम past life में भी करते हैं. When we step into it and relive that, that's how you release the pain. So that pain gets released with that, and then we are reparenting. So what we are really doing is that the adult me is now taking responsibility. So one of the biggest things to remember, friends, is we are not somewhere, blaming our parents. This work is really not about blaming anybody. It's about taking self-responsibility. It's about saying that, yes, if we've been conditioned before the age that I knew, I've been conditioned, there's a particular software program that has happened. Now, if I want to rewrite the program, how do I do that? We can only do that by taking self-responsibility. So with that attitude, we are really connecting to that part of us where the child is wounded, that emotional part of us.
There is another question there. Can this be done by teenagers?
So a few teenagers have attended our workshops, so 17, 18-year-olds. So you have to just see if they are children who are taking responsibility, who are not going to blame anybody, who are not going to go back and tell the parents, why did you do this to me? Then yes, definitely they can do it. So a lot of teenagers right now are so mature that yes, they can take it up.
Okay.
I want to
anyone
ask a
else?
question.
Yes.
I want to
Bhuma.
ask a question.
Yes, Pumaji.
Yeah, good evening.
Hi, good
So, so my question is that some patients, like young patients who are teenagers or who are not adults, they are behaving in a very rebellious way in terms of certain things. Like simple thing like as a dentist, I can ask a question that I have asked the child that please brush your teeth properly because you are undergoing braces. Now the child, when the patient is explained, when before starting the braces treatment, patient understands everything. On surface, patient says that yes, I would want to do it, I'll do it, I'm willing to do it and all that. And then you get started. And then the family dynamic starts between the mother and the child, where the child is just doing that rebellious behavior, that child will just not do it. And then there is a fight between mother and the child at home. And then the treatment is going on for a long time. And then at that point in time, you realize that the child is using the strategy of rebel, and the mother is using the strategy of the hook, that, Papa ko bol dungi types, doctor ko bol dungi. And then in that sense, the doctor is bad mouthed कि doctor strict है, doctor ऐसे है इसलिए तुमको डांटेंगे, मैं बोल दूंगी doctor को. तो मतलब the whole dynamics we can sense that is what is the dynamic there. that the child is rebellious and the mother is using the hook, and that is how their dynamics is like that. Now, my question has two parts. Number one is that in such situation, knowing the inner child healing therapy, and as a dentist, how can I help my patient? That's number one. And number two, that at what age the patient can actually do inner child therapy? I mean, see, a previous question you answered that certain mature teenagers can be kind of explained and they can do it. But then, obviously, the child who is rebel is not kind of ready yet. So, in that situation, how do you help this particular young child who we see is getting wounded? Because as a doctor, I feel that now if I tell this child that please take care of this and that, even though I would say from the adult transaction viewpoint, the child is not able to grasp it. So the child then would even get wounded by the doctor. कि मेरे डॉक्टर ने मुझे इतना strictly बोला कि brush करना है मुझे, right? So how do you get around these things that the young child who is a rebellious and wounded child, how does that child begin to heal oneself, and how the adults around need to modify their behavior so that the child does not get more wounded, but the child is able to come out of it?
So what I would do, Bhumaji, here is that I would mirror. So when you understand that this child is being a rebel, right? Now in the process, what he's doing is he's harming himself, right? Now if this can be mirrored, now how I would probably do this is just a sense of humor में, like just saying that अरे मुझे समझ आ रहा है कि तुमको मम्मी का नहीं सुनना है, पर तुम अपना दांत क्यों खराब कर रहे हो उसमें? Now if he just in this with a humor just understands the point that firstly we kind of acknowledge that okay, I understand you want to fight mama, right? But the second thing is you're harming yourself कि pain तो तुमको ही ज्यादा होएगा, तुम्हारा treatment बढ़ेगा. So when you actually mirror that, I think sometimes that humor diffuses it, right? Sometimes also what happens is the dynamics between the mother and child, it doesn't get dissolved also because obviously everybody takes it personally. The mother also takes it like a ego battle, right? Now obviously here if she's putting it on you, and if it becomes a battle पहले 2 में था अभी 3 हो जाएगा, तो it'll further become worse.
Yeah.
So somewhere
Exactly.
we need to just diffuse that. Probably it may happen that every day is not the best day to really communicate that. Maybe one of the days you need to just drop it. On the second day, when you know that okay, when next time they come in a little lighter mood, I can just get the point across. So that is, I think, something that you can, if that awareness comes in the child, that yes, I understand that you want to fight right now, you want to do exactly opposite of what mama is saying, but do that in other matters na, दांत अपना pain क्यों बढ़ा रहे हो? So something like that is what I would say.
So
No, but the inner child. Sorry, yes,
Uma,
yes, ma'am.
if I may add to what Preeti just said, Preeti, with your permission.
Please. Yes.
So it reminds me of a story. Preeti spoke about humor, right? So it reminds me of a story. I'm sure many of you must have heard that story of a king who had a weak child, and he wanted this child to become strong. And then a sage came to his kingdom and he whispered in his ears and said, make a statue of a strong boy, right? And this child would every day look at this statue and want to become like that, right? So the key is this child, what you're talking about, needs to become a child with beautiful teeth, correct? So what you can do is, now that we have Photoshop, right, you can take the child's picture smiling with his teeth all, whatever, not kind of aligned, and you Photoshop it, and then the mother can just put both the pictures, okay? One, a child having those misaligned teeth, and the child having beautiful teeth. So the child watches what he needs to become. Before and after hota hai na picture.
बिल्कुल.
That can be, like fun for the child. Oh, look, now my teeth are becoming aligned. Because the thing is, small children, though we tell them कि आपके दांत अच्छे हो जाएंगे, आपके दांत ऐसे हो जाएंगे, the child cannot maybe form a picture in his mind how he will look with beautiful teeth.
Hmm.
So I don't know, Preeti, what do you think? Something like this can
Very
be
good
done?
idea. Yes, absolutely, absolutely, excellent idea.
So basically, what I do is I draw and show it to them so that they can visually understand and comprehend. The question is that on principle one may agree, but in behavior the thing doesn't get transgressed. And then this, when I'm listening to these strategies, the thing which is coming to my mind is that this particular child is a wounded child. I recognize that this child is a wounded child. Now this child needs to heal herself. But that healing would happen when she gets more mature, isn't it? I mean, she cannot begin to heal herself at this point in time, right?
See, basically, when we say inner child, to
Hmm.
me, even yesterday is my past, is my younger version. Right?
Right.
So even
Right.
even a 10-year-old, even a 12-year-old, when we are talking to them, we are basically helping them bring out a wiser version of themselves,
Correct.
right?
So that way, the inner child healing can start at a younger age
Absolutely.
also, not
Absolutely.
necessarily post 18.
Absolutely, absolutely. So when I was
Okay.
telling that somebody has done, I was talking about the workshop. But at a personal level, when somebody comes into, for a session, it can start much earlier. It's just basically looking at the past and learning from it and kind of now taking responsibility for whatever is.
Okay, so Preeti, there are some nice chat things if you can just go through it. Also, Bhuma, I think if you start working with the parents in a child, things can be better rather than focusing on the child, right? Okay,
Yes,
so there's
that's-
some interesting stuff written here.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Preeti, and thank you, Dr. Trupti.
Oh, Bhuma, most welcome. So there's Mani who's spoken about how the obedient child has led to a lot of heartache in her life. So I think that's very, thank you, Mani, for sharing
Thank
this.
you, Maniji.
And there's another person who's written how to heal the inner child which feels the void of love. This is very, I think, a very common.
Very common thing.
Preeti, what would you like to say to this?
Yes, thank you. I think we can do a meditation probably for that, right?
Correct. So we
because
work
that's
on that.
exactly, right from the time that we become 2-year-old, right? The parents had to say, if you have, been with a toddler, the parents have to say, do this, don't do that. And we start feeling like, love, which we wanted unconditional love. We start feeling like this love is conditional. That if I do this, then I'm going to be loved. If I do this, then I'm not loved. So somewhere that love becomes so conditional for us. And, now as we grow up, we realize that, yes, that's something that the parents had to do. So wherever that would have happened, we can connect to our inner child now and we can start giving that unconditional love.
Well, one of the chats, Bhuma, it's been mentioned that a young girl's eyebrows were actually photoshopped as part of a therapy. Would you like to share, Ranika? Ranika is with us.
Yes,
Ranika, please share with her.
Yes. This was about 10 to 12 years ago. So these parents came to me and their daughter was about 12 to 13 years old. And she was completely without eyebrows. And their therapist wanted them to put up a picture and then draw the eyebrows. So it was not coming out proper while drawing. So they said, can you help us? I said, yes, because I've been doing Photoshop for like 22 years now. So I clicked the photograph of the girl and we superimposed eyebrows on her face. And so I actually took 2 photographs. One where she was just like neutral face and then a smiling face. So that with the eyebrows, we made the smiling face picture. And they used it so that it was framed and put up in her room so that she looks at it every day and sees the comparison. So that was part of her therapy.
Yes, absolutely. There are so many interesting things that we can use nowadays.
Amazing idea, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I think, Preeti,
Sorry,
let's do a
Lisa.
हाँ,
Yes,
Porinita has
Porinita
asked
has
something.
also raised
हाँ,
her hand.
अच्छा.
You want to ask some question, Porinita?
Yeah, Dr. T, first of all, hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, Porinita.
Oh, okay. First of all, let me acknowledge that the way you are speaking, 10% or 20% healing would be done of that person, because I felt that the session was very nice. Way of delivering the whole thing is so nice.
Thank
So my
you.
question is, without going to a therapist, can a person do the self-healing through any meditative process? Or during that process, if that person cries or yells out, then can those energies be released? That is my question.
It can be released, Porinita. Uh, However, it is important to just let yourself take the help if you need to. Okay, so many times what happens is that, like I said, that every time that we were feeling angry or sad, if our parents were not allowing that, okay, so one of the very common things that we feel is that there is shame attached to the feeling. So every time that I'm feeling sad, I also feel there is something wrong with me. So people go to the therapist and then they cry and immediately they wipe and they say sorry. We are so accustomed to feeling bad if I'm feeling sad or angry, right? So that shame is attached to it, and that's one of the biggest things that actually stops us from that to come out, those feelings to come out. Otherwise, a lot of it, it's very natural. So once we we go into a workshop, or when we actually sit with somebody, so sometimes it can happen that a group can start doing it together, right? So in the group, when you're holding the space for each other, it just becomes easier. So you can definitely try. There is no harm. There's a beautiful book which Homecoming by Dr. John Bradshaw, and he gives a lot of beautiful processes that you could do. And he also kind of says that if at some point you're feeling like it's getting too much, then stop and you can seek help. So do try, and but don't shy away from reaching out.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we can start with the meditation, Preeti.
Trupti, when we have the time, 10
Of course,
minutes.
of course.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent.
This group doesn't want to go ever. So
I can imagine nobody wants to leave you.
So yeah, let's do it. It'll be lovely.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
So friends, let's take a very comfortable posture. Close your eyes. Take a couple of long and deep breaths. With every inhalation, allow yourself to breathe in all the beautiful healing energy, all the loving energy that's there around us. And as you're breathing out, let out all the tightness, all the tension, all the burden, stress that you may be carrying. And give yourself the permission to relax. Feel a deep relaxation coming into your entire body as you now breathe in a very natural manner. And just as you are feeling your entire body relax, imagine or feel yourself now in a beautiful place of nature. A place of nature of your own choice. This place is going to be like your personal healing sanctuary. Nobody else can come here without your permission. It is only you in this nature place. Pay attention to the elements of nature that you sense here, that you see here. Connect with these elements of nature. Pay attention to the colors that you see, the textures that you feel. All of these are helping you to be yourself, are helping you to relax. You may notice the different kind of plants, trees. You may notice the different kind of leaves. Or the different kind of shells if you see yourself on a beach. Every plant is unique. And so is every human being. You are now feeling more and more ready to be yourself. To accept yourself as you are. To see yourself as you are. And to love yourself as you are. Allow yourself to take a walk in this nature place. With every step that you take, feeling deeply connected to the Mother Earth. The Mother Earth, who is our big mother, nurturing us in this journey on this plane. And as you're walking, you also sense the support of the big Father, the Father Sky, the heavens, the support from your guides and masters. You have all the love, all the support. As you take this journey today to connect to your inner child, to heal your inner child, to love your inner child. Just as you're walking, you're going to now see your inner child sitting on a bench or a rock or under a tree. Trust your own experience. As you see your inner child, just trust whatever that you sense or see. Pay attention to the child. How old do you see the child? Look into the eyes of the child from a distance first. Eyes are the windows of the soul. How is this child feeling? If you're meeting your inner child for the first time, I'd like you to introduce yourself to the child. Tell the child, I'm your adult version coming from 2021. And I'm so glad to see you today. I'm so sorry that I could not be there for you for so long. If the child is taking a little time to open up to you, to feel comfortable with you, allow that. Give all the time and space. If the child is already feeling comfortable and coming closer to you, hold the child. You may put one of your palms on your heart if you feel like. Hold the child with so much love. Nobody else could have understood this child's needs the way you can. Let the child sense your love through your touch. Let the child see the love in your eyes, oozing from your eyes. Feeling more and more comfortable in your presence. Tell the child that I'm going to be now with you. I want to know you more. I want to be there for you. All that happened to you, any wounding, any issues, any traumas, that was not you. And as you say that, it may happen that certain memory is already coming. And if you are feeling from the perspective of the child, from stepping into the body of the child, if you're already feeling any pain, allow yourself to feel that, reliving that. If you're connecting to the child as an adult, continue to do that. Just let yourself bond with the child in this place. With all the love, with all the wisdom, be there for this child. As if now you are the parent to this child. How would you be with this child now? Accepting this child, loving this child for who he or she is. As you're connecting with the child, as the child is with you, starts bonding with you, allow yourself to now spend a little more time with the child in this nature place. Give permissions to the child to explore this place, to enjoy this place. Let this child become free. keeping the child safe. You are just around, bonding, and allowing the child to explore. You can do that for another minute, my dear friends. Telling your inner child, I'm never ever going to leave you alone. We are going to now connect every day. Let the child feel and sense from your being that you are accepting the child the way he or she is. Let yourself be okay with whatever the child may be feeling. You are giving the permission to the child to just be natural. In this beautiful nature place, which is your healing sanctuary. You can come to in this place in your meditations. You can connect with your inner child, nurture your inner child every single day. For now, the inner child may take the form of light and enter your heart space, becoming one with you. Integrating the inner child with you. Take a couple of long and deep breaths. Getting ready to come back. Slowly start bringing all your awareness back to your own room, to the body, to the present moment. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Slowly open your eyes, my dear friends, as you cover your eyes. Thank you. Welcome back. Thank you, Triptiben.
Thank you, Preeti, for being
Thank you,
here
ma'am.
with all of us. I'm sure everybody has loved it and
It was
benefited
beautiful.
tremendously.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Amazing
Very,
session.
very nice session and lovely meditation, both.
Thank you.
So I think we can all give a little heart to my beautiful
Yes.
Preeti.
Oh, thank you. How sweet.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so
I'm
much.
still like this because I don't know how to do it.
Heart, zero.
Thank
My inner
you.
child is feeling nourished.
Yes.
I
Thank
receive
you
all
so
the love.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Preeti. And
Ma is
just
a
to
champion. Ma is a champion of giving positive strokes. You know, Preeti?
I know
She
that.
knows
I know that.
She knows that.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so we know that I think Preeti, the inner child meditation has been sent to me earlier for
On
Samastiti.
Samastiti.
So you can all access the inner child healing meditation on Samastiti.
Ah, that's
Okay?
nice.
So
Very nice.
always have it with you and
Yeah.
continue doing it. Okay?
Good.
So
Thank you.